Hello, bonjour. I got Mathieu avec vous aujourd'hui, with you today. Oh, I started to speak in French. Sorry about that. There you go. I got Mathieu with you today. I'm so happy to be with you again. And I did a research on iodine this week, and I was again blown away, just blown away by all what food can do. So to who doesn't know me, maybe it's your first time watching my show. My name is Agathe Mathieu. I'm a living cuisine chef, which is raw food. It's known as raw food. And I've been, eating this way, having this lifestyle for 19 years. You can see my hands, the arthritis, which within a week of eating this way, the swelling was gone. You know, when you have rheumatoid arthritis, you cannot open jars and all sorts of things. Your hands are so swollen. So after a week, I could curl my hands just like that. And after 3 months, it was gone and never came back. So since then, I've been living this way, eating this way. I had a cafe for 8 years. I'm just enjoying this lifestyle. It's just a beautiful, beautiful way of being healthy. I've got energies now at 64 more than I had in my 40s. So today I will, talk to you about iodine. Just fascinating, because I did a post. What you see behind me is the nori rolls that I make. It's part of my recipes that I offer on my website. And those nori rolls have the seaweed and the dulse and the kelp and the nori, of course, the nori sheet. And so it's a food that has this iodine that is so important to have. So start to read, and I found out so many things about iodine I didn't know before. So iodine is an essential mineral that your body needs to function properly, but cannot make it on its own. So it has to come from something that we consume. It has to. And most iodine is found in the ocean, where it's concentrated by sea life, particularly in seaweed. And iodine is a trace element found in seawater, rocks, and some types of soil. So the iodine content of food depends on the amount of iodine in the soil or the water from which it came from. And that also tells you that it depends on the quality and the health of the soil and the water. So if it's polluted, obviously not a good thing. You don't want to eat from whatever comes from there. So the most important role of iodine is to ensure proper thyroid function. And thyroid hormone is the hormone that controls your body's metabolism, the process in which your body transforms the food you eat into energy. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that part. It all comes from our thyroid. Imagine that. So a deficiency can lead to hypothyroidism. Oh, it's hard to say. So it's when the thyroid gland doesn't make enough thyroid hormones to meet our body needs. So that's where we have, so it's not enough. And meaning that your thyroid isn't working as well as it should. And it can lead issues such as fatigue, joint pain, and fertility problems. I didn't know that either, my gosh. So iodine plays a vital role in thyroid health. And your thyroid gland, which is located at the base of the front of your neck, helps regulate hormone production. And those hormones control your metabolism, heart rate, and more, just like I mentioned earlier. So to make the thyroid hormones, your thyroid takes up iodine in small amounts. And without iodine, the thyroid hormone production can decrease. And so we get the hypothyroidism, you know what I mean? I can't say that word. So it's hypo instead of hyper. Hyper is too much iodine, and not enough is hypo, is not enough iodine. So what can result from that as well is goiter. So that's an enlarged thyroid gland. So now you're at the bottom of your neck, it's all swollen. And then it may become enlarged as a result. And then, so it's an overactive thyroid gland. That's what's happening. And it could be sometimes also it could be a direct response to iodine deficiency. So goiter is either one, is not enough or too much. And actually it's a good thing, because if that happens, then you know it's enough, not enough, or too much. You've got something going. So that's an indication. You see, the body is smart that way. It really does things to let you know, hey, something is not going right. Now, did you know, I didn't know that either, that you need more iodine when you're in pregnancy. And it's because iodine intake during pregnancy is linked to brain development in fetuses. So it's super important to do. And then also, you continue to also take, make sure your iodine level are what they should be when you're breastfeeding, because it's crucial again for the brain development period that the infants need, and also benefit during pregnancy to help for maintain healthy brain function during childhood. So, you know, from being conceived from a child, and then to being a fetus, to being breastfed, to being, you know, a young child, iodine is very important for the development of the brain. And I didn't know that either. Treating infections. So iodine can be used typically in the liquid form to help treat and prevent an infection. It works by killing bacteria. Listen to this. In and around mild cut and scrapes. Listen to that. And one thing I didn't know either is disinfecting water. So iodine is just one method of water disinfection. This may be especially helpful if you don't have access to potable water due to traveling or effects from a nature disaster. So, and that, you know, I would go online to buy the proper iodine concentrate of some sort. It says 2% liquid iodine tincture. So it's a tincture, may be added to water in 5 drops increment per 1/4 of clear water. If the water is cloudy, you add 10 drops per quart. And then you would, that way you would disinfect water, it says. So you would make your water usable, you know, like safe to use. Now, the recommendation daily limit for iodine intake is 150 microgram for men and non-pregnant women. And a microgram is a millionth of a gram. So it's super small. So we need only a very small amount by getting that small amount but getting that small amount is vital. And that's where we have to be careful. That reminds me of protein. You have to eat protein, you have to eat protein. You don't need a gazillion tons. So, you know, we always take it as, you know, eat lots, and suddenly who sells protein says, you know, eat lots. But it's the same here for iodine. So you understand 150 micrograms. So it's not a gram, it's 150 micrograms. And like they were saying, a microgram is a millionth of a gram. So it's very small. And the recommendation daily intake is 220 to 250 for pregnant women. So that's more. We just explained why, for the development of the fetus, for the brain, and breastfeeding again for the brain development of the child, the baby, and the child after. So, well, you know, you wouldn't be pregnant anymore, but you have to make sure that the child has the required amount of iodine as well. The symptoms of iodine deficiencies, and the deficiency, well, like I said earlier, if you got the goiter, if you know, your throat swell and you have a hard time to swallow, and I'll tell you, it's coming in a minute, you know, the symptoms of that, then that tells you there's something going on with your thyroid gland. But then also what you can do is a urine test. And there are home urine tests that you can use, but ask your doctor which one they recommend. Your doctor, your functional doctor, your nutritionist might know. Ask them which one they recommend. Because I looked online. I've never used it myself, but I look online, there were lots. So not that I could recommend any. I'm not a doctor, a functional doctor, or a nutritionist, so I'm not going to recommend any, but ask your doctor or functional doctor or nutritionist about it. And the symptom of low level of iodine or high level, because it could be hyper as well, Detected through thyroid symptoms are, so the goiter, which is visible, like I said, brilliant. The body does that, right? It's like, oh, you know, look, it's swollen. Actually, I had that, so I know what they're talking about. I had that situation where my neck from my chin down was just one block, and I had to push my saliva through my throat. It wouldn't just go down. It was awful. My doctor said, "Oh dear, I got, you have to take medication because you're gonna feel depressed, gain weight." It was awful what he was telling me. And actually, what I decided to do, he said, "And I know you won't take any medication, so what would you do?" So I came back home, and out of instinct, I didn't even read, went online about it. I started to eat dulse and laver. So, and you'll know why it's coming down, why it was efficient for me, because it resolved my situation. I only lost the end of my eyebrows that I have to, use a pencil and draw them in, but it worked, and it's coming down. You'll know why in a second. So back to what the symptoms might be. So a visible goiter, thyroid gland that are painful or tender to the touch, breathing difficulty, especially when lying down, difficulty swallowing, that's what I had, fatigue, extreme feeling of coldness despite normal temperature, hair loss, depression, brain fog, and weight gain. See? So if you have any of these, it's a good idea to have this urine test. And again, ask your doctor. So again, what is goiter? It occurs when the thyroid gland grows abnormally big, and it's one of the easiest telltale signs of iodine deficiency, manifesting in a noticeable swelling of the front of the neck, like I just explained to you. So symptoms of the goiter are difficulty to swallow, coughing, tight feeling in your throat, change in your voice, such as hoarseness, and difficulty breathing. And I had all that. It was awful. Iodine-induced goiter may be reversed by adding iodine-rich foods or supplements in the diet. And that's what I did. I ate, like I said, I ate the laver and the dulse, and it resolved it. And I mean, I ate a lot. I ate a lot. And actually, when you get to it, it's quite nice. The dulse, well, the nori sheets, are nice to eat, but they kind of, the texture maybe, but the dulse I really enjoy, because you can chew on this and it's salty and totally healthy, and and it resolved the goiter that I had. So hypothyroidism, oh la la, eh? So low iodine level are the driving cause. And as the trace mineral is required to make thyroid hormones and to support metabolic function. So symptoms of hypothyroidism include sensitivity to cold, muscle weakness, weight gain and puffiness, constipation, slowed heart rate, and irregular menstrual periods. So there you go. Weight gain, low iodine levels can slow your metabolism, encouraging food to be stored as fat instead of being burned for energy. I didn't know that. This may lead to some unexpected and often unwanted weight gain, as well as fatigue and weakness. Of course, that would come with it. Hair loss and dry skin. So thyroid hormones help control the growth of hair follicles, as well as skin cell regeneration. Poor iodine intake is linked to dry, flaky skin and excessive hair loss. So there you go, another indication. So while iodine promotes overall thyroid health, too much can have a negative effect on the thyroid gland. That's why you shouldn't take iodine supplements without your doctor recommendation. And I'll tell you a little bit lower down why. It's very, very critical. It's important. So iodine is also, I'm not going to talk about that just yet. Just a minute. I'm going to go back to this here. I have a note here that hasn't been moved to where it should be. Okay, so next. You can get enough iodine from your diet. It says by eating dairy products, fortified foods, and saltwater fish. Well, here's the caveat. The major animal food source includes dairy product and fish, but The sea fish and shellfish are often, I shouldn't say often, could be, I'll let you judge on that one, could be contaminated with polychlorinated biphenyls, the PCBs, dioxins, and mercury. And we talked about that in a previous show as well, of the mercury. So they say, eat fish. For the life of me, I can't remember which one, but mercury was an issue. And we talked about, depending where you buy your fish. Is it from a fish farm? Is the fish farm, how they operate? How is the quality of the water? And so it is, again, what's the quality of the water? Yes, you might get the iodine from the water, but what's the quality of it? What comes along with it? Because some of the fish farms, sometimes they just have too many in there, and they pooped all over the place, of course, and they're contained into that water. The feed that they get is not like nature would provide. I mean, they do their best to match the food that a fish would eat if it was in the wild, but it's just not the same thing. They might give them antibiotic and whatnot, so the fish are not getting sick. So you get all of that when you eat that fish. So that's the question. It's a big question, about those PCBs and dioxins and mercury. So, and then they say that raw and undercooked fish and shellfish can also contain harmful viruses and bacteria. And I believe that in the restaurant industry, it's quite one to to be aware of, and it's tricky. How fresh is the fish? Certainly when it's served raw, where it's coming from, how well has it been kept once it's caught, and then between getting into the restaurant, so that there is no broken chain of keeping that temperature that needs to be, so there is nothing that it starts developing the fish that could create some bacteria and make you sick. So we do hear, unfortunately, food poisoning that is related to fish and to other kind of meat as well, of course. But so something to be very, very careful about that. So yes, you can get your iodine from fish, but it's because the fish is in that water where the iodine actually is present. The question is, what else is present in the water? And the iodine in cow's milk, well, that I didn't know, is not, well, yeah, it's not a natural component. It's not coming from the cow. The cow doesn't make iodine, like we don't make iodine. The cow doesn't make iodine either. But comes from iodine supplement. So they give iodine supplement in cattle feed, and iodine containing disinfectant used to sterilize milking equipment and added to the tit dips and other washes. So I just said earlier how it can disinfect a cut or a scrapes that you might have on your skin. Well, it's the same for those cows that they might have when they clean the udder, and then the other UDDER, you know what I mean, when they milk the cow. So the udder there, they have to clean them, and they use iodine containing disinfectant to sterilize. So iodine that has been used in the treatment of wounds for more, so that's how, sorry, I'm skipping here. No, it's coming back. There you go. Iodine has been used in the treatment of wounds for over than 170 years. And as dairy cows, others are prone to infection, mastitis, they are routinely washed with iodine, and some of it ends up in the milk. So that's how you get iodine in the milk as well, is they wash the others with the iodine. And so when they milk the cow again, it's there, and it's in the, well, they don't, I'm doing this as if they were doing it manually. Some do, and if you have a organic farm near you and they still do it by hand, you have the best milk, I would say they would be, but otherwise it's all the machinery, right? They plug it in and then it sucks the milk out of those cows. But that's where also you would get some of that iodine because it's been left on the udder. So after telling you this, it's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? So what other choices do we have? Well, you guessed it, vegan. Of course, there is iodine in plant food. So the vegan source of iodine containing iodine includes whole grains, green beans, courgettes, kale, spring greens, watercress, strawberries, organic potatoes with skin. So I would say that it's easier then to manage what's in the soil than what it seems all a bit complicated, maybe as in what's in the water. So, and the amounts, as you know, are variable depending on how much iodine is in the soil. And organically grown is a better choice. So, like said earlier, the iodine that is available that ends up into the seafood or seaweeds, I'm going to talk about that in a second, or the iodine that ends up into the vegetables I just mentioned, it depends what's in the soil already to start with. And as I mentioned up earlier in the beginning of the presentation, it can also be found in rocks. So the Himalayan salt, for example, has iodine in it. The salt that is ionized has a salt that is created in lab. So it's not the same thing. And I'll tell you a bit lower what's going on with that. It's quite something to know as well. Let me look at time. Good. So seaweed is also a source of iodine. Look for certified organic version of the sea vegetables and package that mention that the product has been tested for arsenic, because that is in the water as well. So sea vegetables take up minerals from the water as they inhibit, and they can also absorb heavy metals such as arsenic. So make sure it's on the package that it's been checked for that and you don't have that in your seaweed. So it depends where it's harvested again. Seaweeds absorb iodines from seawater and is an excellent source. Also contain many other minerals and trace minerals, including calcium, copper, magnesium. They can be high in protein and fiber while being low in calories and fat. So, and it's fat-free actually. So there you go. It's ideal. The amount of iodine in seaweed is highly variable. So for example, the kelp and kombu is the one that has the most. So depending on what's going on with your iodine, again, consult with your doctor. And so when you're pregnant, even more so important, do consult with your doctor. So, I mean, for us, like I said, I mean, the microgram is so small, right? So, if you eat some nori rolls, eat some dulse like I did, I was munching it like you would on a chip. Use it seasoning on your salad, in your soup, stew, pasta dish. You use as seasoning. Then you have enough. You have enough, and do those. Find out about those tests also that will help you. So the difference between the last thing I want to talk about, and is that the difference between artificial and natural iodine. The synthetic thyroid hormone and iodine are completely different substances and cannot be used interchangeable. I can't say it. It cannot. One doesn't replace the other. So I say it this way. It's almost impossible to completely synthesize elemental iodine, but forms of iodine created in labs, such as potassium iodide, can technically be referred as a synthetic iodine, but it's not the same. So what happens here is one way in which these artificial sources of iodine differ from naturally sourced iodine is the speed at which the body absorbs the mineral. And dependent clinical trials have shown that artificial source of iodine, such as potassium iodide, release iodine into the system quickly and can cause a spike in iodine levels. And that's what messes us up. Whereas in contrast, the natural plant material like a seaweed, like what I said, in the grains, and the fruits and the vegetables that I mentioned, iodine bound into fibers, allowing the iodines to break down more slowly. So because it's now with a fiber, it's being absorbed by the body slowly. It's totally different. A more consistent, sustained release of iodine is beneficial because it allows the body to manage, absorb, and utilize the influx of iodine more efficiently. And you figure by now, I'm an adamant believer of Mother Nature's knows best, and it is. It is. It's just made to function in harmony with us. And I mean, it's fascinating, it's fantastic and amazing and extraordinary. All the medicine has done so much, but still Mother Nature knows best. So if you can start there before you pop in something, supplement or pharmaceutical, things like that. So, and I just want to show you, I will show you my website. And then let me just put that down here. And then you can go and visit. As I said, you have the, there you go. You saw the noi on my background there. So it's one of the recipe that I offer. So this is my website. And there, what it is you transform your health, you regain your life. It's a proven drug-free path of healing for unresolved health concerns. And that's what it is. That's what it did for me and my family. I'm giving you energy-filled recipes. I'm teaching you so you're a pro in no time. It's super easy, no struggle, no difficulties. You can eat that gorgeous food. So it's not like you're limited to eat carrots, as friend teach me. Look at this. I mean, look at that food. It's amazing. It's beautiful and gorgeous and delicious. You can buy section, like the breakfast only. You can buy the condiment only, the entries only, the sweets only. You can buy the entire collection if you like. And here there's a free cake. So you can see by trying that cake how you like my recipes and if that works for you, how the way I teach. And I teach using grams because you don't have to fiddle like, what does she mean by, I don't know, a third of a cup of dates? What's that? Is it cut? Is it pressed? Is it, it's by weight, super easy. And here you have the prices at the top of the different product. And here at the bottom, you can leave me a message. You can send me questions, whatever you want to know. It'd be my pleasure to answer. And here you have all my social media. So you can visit and see posts, that previous post, and it gives you an idea of what I do and what I know and what I teach and what I love you to know. So you take your health in your own hands. And I'd like to complete with, one thing. I'm just stop the sharing here. I like to finish with one thing. There is that saying that a man or a woman who doesn't have their health only have one dream. And the one who does have thousands of dreams. There's no limit. It's not like I'm not well, I cannot do this. I'm not well, I cannot go there. I'm not well, I cannot take on this project. There's none of that. When you're healthy, you take on life. You enjoy life. So that's what it is about. That's what I'm telling you. So, I mean, for me, it's only food. It's been only food for 19 years. No medication, never sick. I'm healthy as a horse. I've got energy like there is no tomorrow. And I wish that for you. So I'm telling you, your health destiny is in your own hands. It's you. You make it to be healthy. You can. I'm not kidding you. And like, again, follow me. Try one. If you say, you go, okay, I'm just gonna do the breakfast. Do that and see the difference. Start your day with such powerful food. Start creating your wealth of health. You cannot buy that. You can't make all the money in the world that you want. You cannot buy your health. You make your health. You create your own health. Invest in your health saving account. So simple to do it that way. And how is now a good time to start? Don't wait any longer. I wish you health for you and yours, and enjoy life, all the life has to offer. You can enjoy it. And I will see you again next week. Thank you again for being with me. It was a fabulous time, and see you again next week.